Some moments are frozen in time, capturing joy, adventure, or quiet reflection, until you learn the chilling truth behind them. These are the final photos of 5 people, taken just seconds before their lives were tragically cut short. From eerie coincidences to haunting last smiles, each image hides a story that will leave you speechless. Stay with us as we uncover the heart-stopping details behind these unforgettable snapshots. Number 1. Jolee Callen was born on December 29, 1996, and she grew up living an ordinary all-American life. She made friends easily and was popular among her peers in high school, known for her friendly personality. Then she met 20-year-old Lauren Daniel Bunner. According to those who knew the young pair, Bunner was possessive and wanted Callen to spend time with him and his friends only. Due to his increasing jealousy, Callen attempted to end their relationship, but her attempts were unsuccessful, as he'd threatened self-harm each time she tried to leave. Finally, Callen succeeded in breaking it off with Bunner, but this decision would prove fatal. Months later, Jolee Callen had moved on and was in a new relationship when Bunner contacted her for a hike as friends. She agreed and jokingly texted a friend the night before their meetup, "If something happens to me, you'll know who I was with." On August 30th, 2015, the pair, along with Callen's dog, Kiba, set off to go to the Pinhoti Trail in Chehalis State Park in the Alabama countryside. Bunner was posting the day's events on his Instagram page. He uploaded 3 photos of Callen on their hike together, with the last photo of her on a cliffside with her back to the camera, taken just minutes, hinted something terrible. Bunner took her life with a firearm, aiming it into the back of her head. When Callen collapsed, Bunner flipped her over and shot once more in between her eyes. Then, he shoved her off the 40-foot cliff. Bunner returned to his car, where he immediately called 911 to admit to his crime. "I want to turn myself in for the murder of my ex-girlfriend, Jolee Callen, that happened just a little while ago on Chehalis Mountain," he said in a calm voice. He then waited on the side of the road for the police to arrive. It didn't take long for police to find Jolee Callen's body. Bunner was coated in her red vital fluid and was quickly arrested and charged with her murder, for which he pleaded not guilty. At the trial in November 2015, Bunner claimed that he and Callen had a murder self-exit pact, but claimed he was unable to go through with his self-exit after committing the crime against Callen. But family and friends of Jolee Callen made clear that the victim was preparing for the future and didn't seem depressed, and they believed it was likely that Bunner killed Callen in cold blood when she refused to rekindle their romantic relationship. On July 13, 2017, Bunner pleaded guilty to Jolee Callen's murder, though his attorneys pleaded with the courts for leniency, claiming that there was evidence he lived with a mental illness. The judge, however, was not swayed. Bunner was sentenced as an adult and got 52 years in prison. Even though Bunner will be eligible for parole in 15 years, Michael Callen felt that justice was served for his daughter that day. Here is that chilling final photo shared on Instagram. Number 2. An Italian man posed for a smiling, loving photo with his girlfriend, just moments before he would succumb to a horrific end while trying to grab a dropped cell phone, according to reports. Andrea Mazzetto, 30, snapped the shot Saturday with live-in girlfriend, Sarah Braganti, while climbing Alter Noto, a rock in his hometown, Rozzo, named because of its likeness to an altar. At some point, one of them lost a phone, and Mazzetto toppled to his death from a cliff while trying to get it, police told Corriere del Veneto, which put the fall at around 650 feet. Rescue crews reached him with a chopper and pronounced him dead at the scene. Before then, Mazzetto had updated his nearly 2,500 Instagram followers with regular posts on his hike with Brigante, who later shared their smiling selfie, taken moments before her loved one's death. "Our cursed last photo together," she wrote, alongside the snap from their climb up Alter Noto. "You will always be with me, my little bear," she wrote tenderly. Mazzetto had regularly posted photos to Instagram, where he also expressed his love for the girlfriend, who would later witness him fall to his death. Initial reports said he was trying to get his girlfriend's phone, but police later told local media that it was Mazzetto's own phone that fell. Here is the final photo of the two of them smiling. Neither of them knew that this would indeed be their very last photo together. Number 3. On August 15, 1998, the small town of Omagh in County Tyrone, Northern Ireland, was forever scarred by a tragedy that shook the world. This is the story of the Omagh bombing, captured in haunting final images, including a photograph of a red Vauxhall Cavalier, taken just moments before it unleashed devastation. It was a warm Saturday afternoon, just after 3 p.m. The streets of Omagh were filled with families, shoppers, and tourists, including 2 Spanish visitors and others on a day trip from the Republic of Ireland. No one knew that this ordinary day would become the deadliest single attack of the Troubles in Northern Ireland. Hidden in a red car was planted by the Real Irish Republican Army, a splinter group opposed to the IRA's ceasefire and the recently signed Good Friday Agreement. Their target was the Omagh courthouse, but their actions would claim far more than they ever intended. Nearly 40 minutes before the explosion, telephoned warnings were sent, but they were vague, failing to pinpoint its location. In a tragic mistake, police, unaware of the car's deadly cargo, moved people closer to the danger, believing they were guiding them to safety. At 3:04 p.m., the detonated. The blast tore through Omagh's heart, killing 29 people and injuring over 300. Among the victims were Protestants, Catholics, 6 teenagers, 6 children, and a woman pregnant with twins. The diversity of those lost reflected the indiscriminate horror of the attack. The world recoiled in outrage. The meant to disrupt the fragile peace process, instead galvanized it. The Real IRA, shaken by the scale of the tragedy, issued an apology, claiming they never intended to harm civilians, and soon declared a ceasefire. But for the families of Omagh, no apology could undo the loss. This chilling photograph of the red Vauxhall Cavalier, taken just before the explosion, was recovered from the wreckage. It stands as a haunting reminder of the moments before lives were changed forever. The father and child survived miraculously, but the photographer and 28 others died, while around 220 were injured. The camera, found amidst the debris, preserved a snapshot of a town unaware of the horror about to unfold. In 2009, the victims' families won a historic $1.6 million civil action settlement against 4 men held liable for the bombing. It was a small victory in their long fight for accountability. Today, Omagh's scars remain, but so does its resilience, as the town honors the memory of those lost. The Omagh was a tragedy that should never have happened. Its haunting last photos, like the one captured by that recovered camera, remind us of the fragility of peace and the enduring strength of a community that refused to be broken. Number 4. Pavel Kashin. was a Russian parkour artist from St. Petersburg. In 2013, he was performing a stunt on the rooftop of a 16-floor building as a friend was filming him. Parkour derives from the French word parcours, which means route, developed from military obstacle training. It's a system for going from point A to point B by rolling, jumping, leaping, essentially getting around various obstacles, like walls and stairwells, in the quickest time possible. Parkour is done without the use of safety equipment, and it has attracted thrill seekers from all over. Parkour instills a spirit of adventure for many, and enthusiasts typically think of themselves as part of a connected community. But for the most daring, there is always the potential for danger and death. Pavel Kashin was one of the well-known parkour artists, or freerunners, in St. Petersburg. He was named one of the best freerunners in the world, known for his breakthrough stunts. There are numerous videos documenting his riskiest and most impressive moves. Parkour instills a spirit of adventure for many, and enthusiasts typically think of themselves as part of a connected community. But for the most daring, there is always the potential for danger and death. On that fateful day, in July 2013, he was standing on a 3-foot-wide ledge on the top of an apartment building. The Russian daredevil was attempting to do a backflip when he fell nearly 200 feet to his death. Witnesses told the police that he had lost his footing on the landing, causing him to plummet straight down onto the pavement below. A group called Free Running Sweden took to Facebook the day after Pavel Kashin's death, saying, "The whole parkour world and FRS sends our thoughts and respect to his family and friends. Rest in peace, Pavel." Kashin's friends and fellow parkour enthusiasts called the move a brave jump. They uploaded the photo taken of his final stunt, which was then heavily circulated around the internet. Kashin's parents approved of the image being uploaded. In addition to paying tribute to their son, they believed it could serve as a warning to others who partook in parkour-type activities. There have been several incidents of people partaking in similar life-threatening stunts, and Kashin's parents thought that his memory could encourage them to not take the risks of the sport too lightly. They issued a statement at the time, saying that they hoped the photo would deter other daredevils from attempting risky jumps. His father said he hoped the example would save someone's life. Here is the chilling photograph that captured his last moments. Number 5. In the quiet suburb of Randwick, Sydney, a restless 14-year-old named Keith Sapsford dreamed of adventure. Born in 1956, Keith was the son of Charles Sapsford, a university lecturer in mechanical engineering. His father described him as a curious kid with an insatiable urge to explore, always on the move, chasing the next horizon. Recently back from an overseas family trip, Keith felt the weight of routine settle over him. The thrill of travel had ignited something in him, and the return to everyday life in Australia left him restless, almost suffocated. His parents, desperate to help their son find direction, enrolled him in Boys Town, a Catholic institution in South Sydney, known for guiding troubled youth. They hoped its structure would ground him, tame his wanderlust. But Keith's spirit couldn't be contained. Just weeks after arriving at Boys Town, Keith slipped away, his heart set on freedom. On February 22, 1970, he made his way to Sydney Airport, a place buzzing with possibility. Back then, airport security was a far cry from today's fortress-like measures. A determined teenager could slip onto the tarmac unnoticed, and that's exactly what Keith did. Spotting a Douglas DC-8 bound for Japan, Keith saw his chance. Driven by a desperate need for adventure, he climbed into the plane's wheel well, a cramped, hidden compartment. He didn't know, or perhaps didn't care, where the plane was headed. All he wanted was to escape, to see the world. But what he didn't realize was the fatal flaw in his plan. As the plane taxied and took off, Keith huddled in the wheel well, unaware that the compartment would reopen mid-flight to retract the landing gear. Moments after liftoff, the mechanism engaged, and Keith's fate was sealed. He plummeted 200 feet to the ground below, his life extinguished in an instant. By chilling coincidence, an amateur photographer named John Gilpin was at the airport that day, snapping photos of planes, hoping for a decent shot. He had no idea he'd captured a tragedy. It wasn't until a week later, as he developed his film, that he saw it, a haunting silhouette of a boy, falling feet first from the sky, arms outstretched, as if grasping for something to hold on to. Experts later inspected the plane and found handprints, footprints, and threads from Keith's clothes in the wheel well, silent evidence of his final moments. Tragically, even if he hadn't fallen, survival was unlikely. Clad only in a short-sleeved shirt and shorts, Keith would have faced freezing temperatures and oxygen deprivation at cruising altitude. His body simply wasn't equipped to endure. Charles Sapsford, Keith's father, later reflected on his son's unquenchable thirst for adventure. "All my son wanted to do was see the world," he said. His determination to see how the rest of the world lives has cost him his life. John Gilpin's photograph remains a haunting artifact, a frozen moment of a young life, cut short by a reckless dream. It's a stark reminder of the cost of wanderlust unchecked, a chilling snapshot that lingers in the memory of all who see it. These 5 final photos leave us with a haunting reminder of how fragile life can be. Each image, a fleeting moment before tragedy struck. From the eerie calm to the unsuspecting smiles, these stories linger long after the shutter clicks. What other untold tales might be hiding in the photos we take every day? If this left you chilled, hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts below. What's the most haunting photo story you've ever heard? Until next time, please stay safe out there, and as always, stay curious.